As I had said before, we are setting out. He had looked at his new companion train. There were a few. Danielle, Featherhoof, Gilda, and the Diamond Dog. Vickery. It didn't take long for them to spring on their path. They had begun walking, simply walking, in a direction where they would pass through a few different territories. The first territory would be the Griffin City. Then onto there would be the Changeling territory. Then onto there would be Canterlot. Then onto there would be an unknown area. And then onto that would be Ponyville. Whilst on the road, they admired the beauty surrounding them, the young adventurers, with pure hearts and golden minds. They didn't know what to think of the journey ahead of them. It may kill them, it may not. But Daniel would make sure of one thing. He would not let any of them die. He promised himself that. He would protect them with his life. They trusted him. What kind of knight would he be if he let the innocent go hurt on his hand? They began walking, and Daniel was whistling a soft tune as birds began to gather around him, moving in angelical movements, swinging left and right, running circles around him, as they landed on his armor and began singing the tune as well. Insert whistling sound here. As they looked forward, Gilda had decided to ask me a question. But I decided to ask the Diamond Dog one. What is your real name? I said as I had crossed something out in my journal. Well, how did you know? Well, I've been around for a long, long time, and I can tell when something's a stage and something's not. You have to be, rather open-eyed in the land I'm from. She said, my name's Casino. But I prefer Valkyrie. Any particular reason? No. All right then. I shall call you by the name which you are most comfortable with. Valkyrie, he said, grabbing his canteen, undoing the top, and then taking a swig. Much better, he said as he cleared his throat. He looked over, smiling at them, saying, I can see something's bothering you, Gilda. Well, of course it is. I mean, I have a few questions. Like, what's with the armor and the magic powers and stuff? The armor marks itself of, as I was a member of the first, well, the last crusade. Members who believed that if we spread the holiness of Talos, we could reunite the people to fight against the monsters. Of course, this was not the case. He said, look, I understand things are different, but need I remind you that we are all on this journey together, my friends. We are far from home in a land or region that is unknown to us. It is wise we stay vigilant, yet I will answer your questions. Featherhoof decided to shoot one as well. So the magic you've shown me, is that all you know? He let out a hearty chuckle, saying, Of course not, friend. It is not the only magic I have shown you that I know. I know many other forms as well. The Diamond Dog, or Valkyrie, had immediately yanked her head down and began clawing up dirt. The first few lumps sagged right into Gilda's face. She said, Hey, watch it, dweeb! She jumped in the hole, and then, just as swiftly as she jumped in, she jumped out, holding a ruby. As she pocketed it, Gilda rolled her eyes. Featherhoof was confused. Danielle realized that she had a bigger talent than was speaking. The trip was rather uneventful, to say the least, which was good, very good. They had talked about each other's stories. They saw the Griffin Kingdom, but they decided to set low for the night. So, Featherhoof, what's your story? He asked across the campfire, under the night sky. Well, my story is that, well, I used to be, well, different. You know, I was a writer back in my town, but people stopped reading my books. So I decided to set out for adventure. And you, young Gilda? I've had some trouble sticking here and there, but I decided to crash with you, dweebs, for the time being. Valkyrie didn't need to explain herself. They knew pretty well why she was running along. Not just because she told Danielle, but Diamond Dogs. Their whole thing is literally finding rare gems. And when she could not find any, well, she was down on her luck. Danielle, being the kind soul he was, decided to let her tag. But tomorrow, they would set in the Griffin Kingdom. They didn't know what to expect.